We've done the Vauxhall Corsa before, and we've even done a Vauxhall Corsa C before. But this one's a little bit different. This one is the 1.2 Twinport, and the differences are subtle, but they are there. So the big difference between the Twinport and the regular 1.2s is that the Twinport uses another pipe coming in which recycles the exhaust gas and brings it back into the inlet manifold. This brings up a bit of a tumbling in the air for the air-fuel mixture, and as a result gets a little bit more boost out of the car. The physics is good, and it works in the same principle as those little things you can buy off eBay to stick in the air inlet that make the air more turbulent. The difference is the physics behind the Twinport actually works, whereas the amount of chaotic movement of the air that these things you buy off eBay, nah, they're no good. But generally what you get is a few extra horsepower, a bit more responsiveness out of the car. You know what? It's not bad. You can definitely tell the difference between this and the regular 1.2. It's definitely not going to put it into supercar territory, let's put it that way. The rest of the course is pretty much the same. The only difference is this extra piping and the different throttle body from the regular 1.2. Having said that though, it does have very responsive steering. The actual steering's more like the electric power steering from the MGF, for example, which was renowned at the time and was considered quite exotic with it being electric. And this is very similar. It's very quick, very responsive, and if you're not used to it, you can overcompensate for a lot of things. 0 to 60 time is not going to be anything to set the world on fire, but it does respond really, really well. Now, when you're looking at this sort of price point for a second-hand car and this age of car, any common faults that are known to exist on them will have shown themselves. With this one, for example, with the 1.2 Corsas, one of the common problems is a problem with the oil pressure sensor, the oil pressure switch. And this has occurred on this one. Started up from cold, the oil pressure's fine, it doesn't turn up, the light doesn't come on, there's no problems. But when you actually get going, the engine's warmed up, the oil pressure light's on, and when you get that tappety noise from the hydraulic tappets as well, it can be a bit of a frightener for somebody who doesn't quite know what's going on. 4-cylinder engine, 1.2. Nice little car, to be fair. Here is a problematic oil sensor, which will have to get changed out. And up here is the throttle body, which has the extra port coming into the back. It's like the exhaust gas. Generally, it's that throttle body that's different between the Twinport and the main 1.2 engines. So, what are the issues? Well, as I've mentioned, the oil pressure light's on. The water temperature gauge isn't exactly registering much, so that seems to suggest that the thermostat's jammed open. Again, another problem that can occur on any car, to be fair. And that's about it, really. What we'll do is we'll stick the onboard diagnostics dongle in, and we'll have a look at some of the things we get out of torque. For those who don't know where the onboard diagnostics port is located, it's just underneath Now with that fitted, let's see what we get. So, I have the onboard diagnostics connected. I have Torque Pro running. Let's see what we get. So we can see not doing too bad with the settings. We're getting quite a lot of readings out of torque and a lot of information out of torque actually. As you can see from the miles to the gallon, it's actually quite a good reading, so it's quite economical on fuel so long as you drive it sensibly. Handling is pretty good. As mentioned, the steering's fairly responsive, very responsive, and incredibly tight as well. Really good turning circle, and in places like this, being a small car is pretty important as well. The interior, well, the stereo, I'm pretty sure Vauxhall got a job lot of them and they couldn't get rid of them. It's fairly similar to the ones that they had at the time, all across the board. The thing I really like is the actual display. Apart from the fact we've got the oil light on, not bad. It gives you all the information you need, how many miles it's done, etc, etc. It's quite clear, and importantly for me, it's got the water temperature on there as well, so I know exactly what's going on with the car. Steering wheel, some pretty good controls on there. Now, air conditioning. We have air conditioning on this model. With the twin ports, you only had a choice between the air conditioning and the sunroof. At launch, and when the car was available, you couldn't have both. And then the display. Interior room is pretty good, and in the back you can get 2 child seats in quite comfortably, though anybody in the middle will have to be slim. The boot isn't a bad size, although it is quite easy to fill, as my wife has proven. It won't fit a buggy in with shopping, but it's okay. With current prices for the 1.2 and the 1.2 twin port, you can get a pretty good deal, especially if you've got some time left on the MOT when you buy. Would I have one as a regular day-to-day car? Quite possibly. There is actually quite a lot of room inside them, although for some of the jobs that I do, might be a little bit small, but overall, as sort of a general family car, it doesn't do too bad. Current prices, really good value, but just make sure you get one that's been looked after.